Welcome, everyone, to the Everything Show. I am your host, Matrix Lord 212, and I'm with Scott. What's up, Scott?
Greetings, all.
All right, so I'm going to give you some box office numbers that I got for Wonder Woman, which again, this is an estimate, but so far it's believed to have in $571 million worldwide, which is pretty amazing. It will surpass $600 million in a day, I'm sure.
Yes.
And then, we'll be on to the next tier, which I think it's still going to do well. It came number 2 so far in the box office this week. So, very happy about that. There was some shocking things going on. The Mummy did really well overseas.
I figured it would.
$295 million worldwide now, which with $239 million coming in foreign markets. So this so far is a huge success now because of the foreign numbers, and it's still going to make more. So it's going to clear over 300. That's definite. Very shocking. What do you think about that?
That's as good. I'm glad because I was reading a thing. I saw a thing on YouTube. They're saying they thought that maybe due to how the Mummy did here, that might kill the Darth Vader thing.
Yeah, it didn't though.
No.
Pirates of the Caribbean has in $650 million worldwide. What a monster! That did fantastic. Cars 3 was number 1.
I figured Cars would be number 1.
74 million, almost 75 million worldwide for its opener there, which is doing great.
That means that Transformers is probably going to hit number 1 when it comes out.
Yeah,
Wonder Woman will either be number 2 or number 3.
Guardians of the Galaxy has in so far 844 million worldwide. I don't know if it's going to make $1 billion. I hope so. And the surprising thing, 2 surprises here. One, Baywatch jumped to 119 million now, which is $60 million budget. It's on its way to getting a sequel. It's if it keeps doing well like this. Again, it's biding its time. It's building money here and there. So it had a rough start, but if it can still survive in the top 10. Well, it's not even in the top 10. It's in foreign markets are pushing it above. But yeah,
because like we've said in the past, there are those people who are not into horror flicks. They're not into superheroes. They're not into the Pixar cartoons. They want some other movie to escape to. Hey, Chris, another movie to escape to. So whether they're a fan of the movie or not doesn't matter. At least it's something to take part in.
Hey, Chris, I'm sorry I didn't think you were going to come because of the wrestling. How you doing?
Hey, what's going on?
Hey, bro, how are you?
I'm good.
How was the wrestling? Was
Let's
it wrestling
not talk
today?
about it.
All right, we're not talking about it. Okay. All right, so you just walked in just in the nick of time. I'm going to talk about Alien Covenant's box office with the foreign numbers so far, and it's got $214,960,985 worldwide. What do you think about that?
I still don't think it's near what they want.
Yeah. Well, it's almost. I mean, I don't know if it's gonna. It's probably not gonna match the production budget in the domestic totals, but we didn't. I don't think we got the from China, right?
I don't know yet, but I got to tell you, a lot of these movies have until Wednesday to make what they're gonna make, because Wednesday Transformers: The Last Night comes out.
Yep.
So that's gonna sweep the box office like usual.
Oh, definitely. And basically, right now
they are projecting. They're projecting it's going to make. They're projecting that it's going to make less than Age of Extinction in China, but it's still making. They're projecting 290 million.
Wow.
Which, I mean, if you can call that low, who knows?
Wow, that's a lot.
Yeah, because I was not that thrilled with Alien. Now, The Mummy was better than.
Well, what about Transformers? Because we were just talking about Transformers. You like the last Transformers?
It was good. It was decent.
All right, so yeah, right now Covenant is 17th place, so that's basically done. Baywatch is 12th place, that's done. Guardians of the Galaxy is 9th place, it's almost done. And Pirates of the Caribbean will probably get out of there. Mummy was a surprise. We were saying, Chris, that it did really well in foreign markets. It's almost at 300 million now.
Yeah, yeah.
So again, those foreign markets really affect everything actually.
Yeah, 'cause so often
absolutely.
it's kind of odd because so often they'll release it first there, and then they'll come here.
Yeah.
But for whatever reason, they're switching it around a bit.
My main reason for the Everything Show, excuse me, it's late. My real reason for the Everything Show tonight is to talk about the Venom thing and the Marvel.
Yeah.
You want to talk about that, Chris? Or
Yeah, this is a really weird story, and it's just I see this getting very volatile in the next few days or weeks.
yes, I do too.
So basically, I'll take it from the top for those who don't know. So apparently, I think it was either today or yesterday. I'm pretty sure it was today. This interview came out with Kevin Feige and Amy Pascal.
At the same time.
At the same time. And I've watched this interview, and they were talking about Spider-Man Homecoming and stuff. And then all of a sudden, I don't remember what the interviewer said, but they asked a question that led to them getting onto the topic of Spider-Man Homecoming and the Venom movie and Silver and Black. Right?
Oh, boy.
And then Amy Pascal, all of a sudden, just says, yes, Spider-Man Homecoming, Venom, Silver and Black are basically within the same world.
Oh, no.
And Kevin Feige, I was expecting him to be like, no, it's not. He said nothing.
Yeah, he said nothing because he was in shock, and also they had to see the legal ramifications of it because she just put him on the spot and screwed it up.
No, that's not what happened, though.
No?
No. Apparently, this is true. Apparently, there is some way that this is – she didn't confirm this, but they didn't say no to this either. So basically what they're saying is the Venom movie and Silver and Black are not going to tie into the bigger events of the MCU. Spider-Man Homecoming, Homecoming 2, and Homecoming 3 are not going to tie into the, any real events of Venom and Silver and Black.
You're breaking up, Chris, totally.
Okay, good. I thought
Chris.
They are in the same world. Spider-Man could...
Chris, hold on a second.
That may have been me.
Yeah, hold on. You're I don't know if we got anything.
Does that mean that Tom Holland's Spider-Man?
Okay, continue.
All right, what was the last thing you heard me say?
Continue, because you were breaking up a lot of the stuff you were saying. So
okay, so I'll take it from what I was saying before. They basically what they said was the events of Venom and Silver and Black are not going to tie into any larger events in the MCU, and any events in Spider-Man Homecoming, Homecoming 2, and Homecoming 3 are not going to tie into any bigger events in Venom or Silver and Black. But the events are taking place in the same world.
No way. I'm telling you right now, something's going to happen because there's no way.
But hold on. It goes further because this is why I'm saying, Kevin Feige should have said something here. If he didn't agree with this,
because he didn't know he was going to probably do that.
He could have.
It would have started a war if he would have said something.
No, this is, and I'll explain what he could have said later on. They asked her, is it possible for Tom Holland's Spider-Man to show up in any of these movies or later on? And she said anything's possible.
That's bullshit. Totally.
So this is what he could have said.
He already said no.
But he didn't, though. After she said that, he could have said, it is possible, but it's unlikely.
Mm-hmm.
We're not pursuing this option right now. Venom and Silver and Black are separate. Tom Holland is in separate movies. Yes, he could have. He absolutely could have said that because Amy Pascal does not have more power than him on these movies.
But they're trying to re-sign to get more Spider-Man movies.
That's not what is going on right now.
They're not going to try to get Spider-Man after
They have the trilogy set right now, and that's all they're doing right now.
All right. Well, I'm going to tell you right now. I that was planned for her to say that.
I don't think it was. However,
Marvel's going to step in.
I'm going to
Disney,
say this,
somebody.
and this is just my opinion. If he had an issue with it, he should have squashed it right there.
I don't agree. I don't agree. I don't agree because I'm going to tell you why. If it was listen, again, he probably didn't want to cause a thing for this thing to continue and trend and whatever that, you know, they're going to go tit for tat on the friggin' thing. So he just wanted to be quiet, and then they'll put out a statement, you know, from Disney, Cinema, Marvel, whatever, saying, you know, there was an error, miscommunication. That is not the case.
Well, let me explain to you why he's wrong for not saying something.
How could he?
This has become the official news now. Everybody is convinced that this is in the same universe.
It's not.
But it is.
It's not going to be.
Let me explain to you why. As of right now, they have not said anything to the contrary. The longer they wait, the more solid this becomes.
So this interview came out on a Sunday or Saturday.
Yeah, I think it came out today.
On a Sunday, which is not like a really slow news day, kind of like everybody's relaxing with it, right? They don't really have stuff on Sundays.
Well,
right?
yeah, and it kind of makes sense because if you put it out over the weekend, more people.
Odds are a lot of people are not going to see it until Monday, which is when they strike and make an announcement first thing in the morning. That, boom, yeah, you may have heard on Sunday night, but that's not the case. We could confirm that Tom Holland is not. Our Tom Holland is contracted to Disney Marvel, and he will not appear. Or they'll say it's not in the same universe. That's like saying the X-Men are in the same universe as Avengers, and technically it's not. So I'm telling you right now, I understand why he didn't say anything. Because, again, to say this woman, in case you didn't know, likes to create waves and things and situations. And she's trying to get back with Sony's good graces. She used to be a big part of Sony. Now she has her own company, but she's still part of things, okay? So she's the one, remember, Chris, that said that, oh, it's been a great relationship with 2 Spider-Man movies, but, remember that, Chris? This is the same person. Remember, Chris?
Yes.
That she's the one that said, we're probably not going to resign, and who the hell are you to speak for Sony? So I'm going to tell you right now, the shit's going to hit the fan tomorrow morning. There's no way Marvel's going to back a movie they have no control over, and that it may bomb. Because that would signify that Venom is part of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and it's a shit show bomb, and they would have to recognize that. So they are not going to back it because they have no control. They have no idea what they're doing. They have no part of it. They are not going to put their stamp in it. They're going to flat out say, and I'm so positive on this, they're going to flat out say, Venom, Silver and Black have nothing to do, not connected to the Marvel Cinematic Universe. It is a parallel universe, another universe, because they have no control whatsoever over it.
Well, I agree with that. I definitely think that they're going to say something. However, I am not I'm not taking anything away from Kevin Feige, but however, I believe he was wrong. He should have said something.
No, listen, this is a leak.
No, I disagree.
Dude,
I disagree.
He doesn't have the right to, he has to confirm with them what they want to make. He can't speak totally for Disney and Marvel, with this stuff.
Yes, he can. If they know he's big in that company, if Amy Pascal came out and said, by the way, Captain America is going to show up in the movie, then right there he would have been like, no.
Yes. Then he could say that. So this is a tricky situation.
But this is my thing though. I don't know if you've looked into how many sites have picked this up and how many people have seen this. It is all over the place.
I know.
It is everywhere. So they are going to have to come out tomorrow. They're going to have something that comes out tomorw.
They may have something that comes out. They may have something that comes out in an hour or so.
But let me just say this though. If they don't say anything in the next week, this is confirmed. And that would be really bad in my opinion because like you said, we don't know how this Venom movie and how this Silver and Black movie are going to go. I think
so
if
by
he didn't
not saying anything, if it bombs, they go, whoops.
Yeah, that's what that's the thing. You're right, Scott. If they wait to see, then
basically,
I'm going to say
no
that was a
word
scumbag
is-
move on
right,
Marvel's part
No
because
word is
they
the
waited.
best word. That way, he can't come back and say, "Well, my words were taken out of context," which we hear so often.
I mean, it was like the thing that happened. Do you remember that thing that happened with Batman versus Superman?
Yes.
Where they asked Ben Affleck and Henry Cavill, they were like, what do you think of like the negative reviews or whatever of Batman versus Superman?
Yes.
And Henry Cavill responded, and Ben Affleck was sitting there like, I agree. I mean, it was almost to a T, except Kevin Feige didn't say I agree. What I think he should have said was, we are exploring possibilities, but as of right now, it is separate. Because that's a response that would have been like, okay, so she's just saying that, and he's trying to lay down what's actually true. But the fact that he didn't say anything, I was sitting there like, you got to say something. I mean, give me a break. This is not. I'm not saying he comes out and says, Amy Pascal, you're lying, and then gets up and walks off the interview. But he could have said exactly what I just said. We're exploring possibilities, but as of right now, the characters are separate.
Well, let me just mention a few different organizations, which I really don't like to, but we're gonna talk about it here. There is briefly the way they worded it with Collider. Venom may take place in Spider-Man Homecoming universe, and that was 7 hours ago. Screen Rant says Sony Spider-Man movies are adjuncts to MCU, which they're very careful about how they're wording this. Comic book movie flat out saying Venom is part of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, according to, and they say whatever. We got Aram Line is saying that Venom is not part of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. That was 7 hours ago. So there's a lot. I9 Gizmodo. They're repeating basic what she said. And a lot of them are just kind of speculating because they don't believe it either, from what I'm getting. And they're being very careful what to title their articles now. So, I am going to wait and see what the hell Marvel's going to say. But I have a feeling that, don't get your hopes up that Venom is going to, for anybody that thinks Venom is going to be part of the universe, because I'm probably pretty sure. Listen, here's the thing. We don't have a failure of a Marvel movie from the Marvel Cinematic Universe. You would never back a movie that you have no idea what's happening, no control over. If they backed this movie and they didn't have any control and the movie would bomb, it would cause a massive problem.
Backlash
to the Marvel Cinematic Universe, even though they didn't do it, because they recognize it, and then everybody will be all over it. Oh, look, Marvel Cinematic Universe first failure, Venom, okay, and then second failure, Silver&Black. So I'm telling you, I'm pretty sure, beyond a shadow of a doubt, when after they speak, you will know 100%. There will be no speculation. Venom and Silver&Black are not a part of the Marvel Cinematic Universe in any way, shape, or form, not even remotely, in a completely different universe. And it's going to be worded where Tom Holland is contractually obligated to be with the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and they will forbid him, just like they said it before, from appearing. They will not allow him to appear. Not their Spider-Man, because they said it's their Spider-Man. They're going to flat out come out. Because here's the thing. Regardless of whether they want Spider-Man or not for more movies, they're not going to take this bullshit, because she got them like with their pants down and totally screwed them in that interview. Like they just did not want to answer because they wanted to weigh heavily how we're going to approach this freaking piece of crap that did this. So I'm telling you right now, I think he did the right thing, because they didn't know if she's the type that would go back at them, and they wanted that interview to end. So I'm going to watch it, but I'm pretty sure they wanted the interview to end. They don't want nobody to talk about it anymore, and they'll speak about it today.
Well, unfortunately, they failed on that front, because this is the news that everybody's talking about, and they got to jump on it now.
If he would have said something, she would have came back at him, and it would have been a mess. a mess because she would have been like, "Of course it is. What are you talking about?" And then it'd be like, "Whoa."
Let me just say this, and I think that regardless of what we may feel about what he should or shouldn't have done, this is definitely a shot at their relationship right now.
They're done.
This is definitely a strain
Done.
on their relationship right now. And
she's the one that caused the first strain, by the way.
I gotta say, I totally blame Sony for this, and I blame Amy Pascal basically.
Sony, you fucked up.
So what Sony should do is really, I mean, really, to try and save face is that they should also put out a statement like, her comments do not reflect what we're attempting to accomplish.
If they had the balls,
they should do that. But I got to also tell you this. Her comments about Tom Holland eventually appearing in these movies, quote unquote, combined with the fact that Tom Holland himself had apparently said that he wouldn't mind showing up in other, movies like that. While I agree with you that they should not let him show up in movies while he's under contract, let me just say this. If his contract runs out after Homecoming 3 and he leaves, like let's say they're not making any more Spider-Man movies, they're not putting him there, and Sony says we're not renewing a relationship with you, I have a feeling that they're going to make Tom Holland a new Spider-Man in their Sony universe.
No, the contract does not, it's not binding just for the movies. It's, they could never use him ever.
I disagree with that. Let me explain why. While I agree with you, they can't use the Spider-Man that we see in the MCU, but they can in no way tell him that he can never play Spider-Man again. That's
not for them. He can't.
No. He can play it for Sony as a different Spider-Man.
He can't do that.
Yes, he can.
No, he can't.
There are no contracts out there that work like that.
Absolutely not.
No, you're wrong.
Not.
You're wrong.
No, I'm not.
Yes,
no,
you are. I'm telling you why.
Okay, I'm going to give you an example.
Go ahead.
Kane Hodder was Jason for Paramount. When New Line did it, you got a different Jason, didn't you?
Yeah, because they wanted a different Jason.
But I'm just saying, it's two different companies now. Okay? They don't want any reflection that universe is part of the MCU. If you put Tom Holland as Spider-Man, Peter Parker, even though his contract's up, if you put him in that movie, people will forever think that Spider-Man and that Venom and no matter what, they're going to say it's the same universe. Disney is not going to allow it. They will give
it doesn't matter what they say. Let me explain to you why. If his contract is up with them, they have no legal way of keeping him out of being a Spider-Man in another movie.
Why not? Why? That they own Spider-Man. Why?
Okay, because this is why. If I work for a company and I sign a contract, let's say I work for a data entry company, right? And I sign a contract with them, okay? When my contract with them is up and we have met the contractual terms and I go to another data entry company to try and get a job there, the other company can in no way say, you can't work for them.
That's different. Spider-Man is an entity, a copyright.
Right, but who has the license to use him?
For cinematic purposes? Right now, Marvel and Sony, because they have that deal.
But when that deal's up, who will have the rights to use him?
They'll have the rights to have Spider-Man and Peter Parker, but not Tom Holland.
Well, they can't do anything for him.
Tom Holland is an employee of. Of course they can.
The only thing
Marvel could say to this kid, you know what? We're going to give you 20 movies. You're not going to appear in there. And he's going to like, absolutely.
Sure. Okay. No. But what you just said contradicts yourself because that would mean he would sign another contract.
He can't listen to me. Listen. I'm going to tell you right now. If he is going to be Spider-Man in a Sony movie after that contract's up, Marvel is going to rip them apart in legal battles like you wouldn't believe. They will not survive.
But they have no right to do that.
They will listen to me. Sony's in trouble, and they know it. And they will put them in court. They will spend $100 million, $200 million in legal fees to put them under, and they will put them under.
Sure, right.
They will put them under.
I agree with you there. I agree with you there. But
that will never
really,
happen.
They have no legal right to do it. It's like this, right?
It doesn't matter about legal right. They'll make them bankrupt.
Exactly. But that's what I'm saying. They have the ability to do that, even though it's not right. But this is my thing.
It is right.
It's not right.
No, it is because Marvel.
If you're using your power to make a company go under just because you don't want somebody to appear in a movie, that's wrong.
No, it's their character when they made the deal with Sony, they said, just like they said it on air for everybody to see, before they signed the deal, they don't want him in any of their movies. And Sony said, okay, they will sue the shit out of Sony. In any other movies, they had that deal signed.
Right. He can't appear while he's under contract with them.
No.
He can't show up in Venom and Silver and Black without them or any of the other movies they're making while he's under contract.
Whatever the contract says, they have to be bounded by it, okay? Binded by it. When Jack Nicholson signed the contract to be in Batman, the only way he would sign it is he would make money from Batman Returns merchandising, even though he wasn't in it. He got $250 million from the first movie himself.
Okay, but that doesn't
and he wasn't
matter.
even in Batman
Let me explain to you why. There was no cinematic universes going at each other when he signed that contract. It does matter because
they're signing a contract that says, we're going to do a deal with you, Sony, and but you have to know that this kid is never going to be in a Spider-Man movie of your thing after the deal's off. Otherwise,
we don't know that's what the contract
I bet you
said.
it's in there.
Okay, but you're speculating that doesn't mean that's what the contract said. Once that contract is up, if there is a clause in there that says you could never be in another Spider-Man movie, then fine. You're right. I agree with you.
It's definitely in there.
However, you don't know that. But however, this is the thing. If there is no clause in there that says you could never play Spider-Man again, which would be a ridiculous clause, by the way.
No, but they'll have him as their movies if they do with Sony.
If he continues with Disney, yes, then he'll never be in a Sony movie Spider-Man wise. I 100% agree with.
Right.
But if his contract is up and Marvel comes to him and says, we have another contract to you, and he says, I'm not signing it, and Sony gives up, their deal with them is done after Homecoming 3, and they decide to continue their Spider-Man universe, when they get the rights back to Spider-Man, and if they want him in it, he will be a different Spider-Man. He won't be the one that's in the MCU.
It will fool everybody. People will be confused, and they won't do it.
But it doesn't matter because what the audience's perception has no effect on what they're doing with the movies legally.
I'm going to tell you, Marvel,
if the audience is confused and they think it's part of the MCU, that gets more people in the seats.
But let me tell you something. That's a slimy thing to do.
Yeah, Sony. Of course.
And second of all, and by the way, we're having a friendly face.
All right, okay.
Yeah. So I'm just going to tell you that Marvel got burned. Marvel Cinematic Universe got burned. I'm going to tell you they learned from their mistakes. I'm going to tell you why. Joss Whedon was so happy that Quicksilver and the Scarlet Witch was going to be in his movie. He announced it. Like the twins, whatever. For spite, they put them in 20th Century Fox X-Men for spite.
Right.
The legal stuff went crazy. They spent a lot of money on both sides, and they realized that there's a loophole that they both could use them. So now, that was a thing where they gave up spending money for lawyers because there was nothing that could have been done. Okay? So Marvel learns to shut their mouth, to have their directors shut their mouth about anything they're going to do before it's copyrighted, before anything, because there's all this other stuff that shows up, and they don't want to have any problems. So I'm telling you right now, when it comes to Spider-Man, which is the one, if you look it up anywhere on Google or anything, Spider-Man as a character has made more money than any superhero in history.
Yeah.
Period.
Yeah.
Okay? They are not going to make their prized possession, Marvel. They're not going to sign a contract with Sony unless there's a million safeguards that they don't get screwed over by Sony. Okay? I'm telling you right now. And if they didn't, they're the stupidest people ever.
I agree. And I just want to say this, too. Do I think that if Tom Holland left and, Sony got the rights back to do Spider-Man movies themselves, do I think they'd bring him back? No, I think they'd cast somebody else as
Sony?
Peter Parker / Yeah.
Oh, no. Sony would do the scumbag thing. They would put him in there.
Oh, no. But what I'm saying is I think it's more likely that they would recast. However, if they had the chance to recast Tom Holland as a different Spider-Man, I think they would do it. I agree with you 100%.
And they're going to pull the bullshit. Well, they're going to pull the bullshit. Well, you saw Mark Hamill appear in the new Flash, just like he was in the old Flash.
Right.
And they're gonna like shit like that, and then Marvel's just gonna rip them. I'm gonna tell you right now, this is gonna be the story. This, and here's the thing, Marvel's worried about. This is gonna hurt Homecoming if it's handled the wrong way. If this is handled, mark my words, if this is not handled properly, the movie's about to come out. You will affect the whole release.
That's the main reason why she made that comment.
But that's the main reason why he didn't say anything.
She wanted to add a little fuel to the fire.
Listen, they both have to be at the premiere, and if they're fighting, they're not going to be with each other. Like Marvel, whatever. And Marvel, I'm telling you, maybe Marvel may even back out. But here's the thing. If Tom Holland were to do something like sign with Sony after the contract's up, he will be blackballed. He will never be in a Disney movie. They will make sure his career is done because that is their character. And even though Sony has the rights to it, that's a scumbag thing to do. So as much as he likes Spider-Man, I would not go against Marvel. And he even knows it too, I think, because he even said, well, whatever Marvel wants me to, like, Disney and Marvel want me to do. Because, again, they are desperate right now. And I'm going to tell you, I'm like really disappointed in Sony. I mean, despite my opinions of the Ghostbusters thing, which is completely different, they are doing shit to piss everybody off lately.
Yeah.
They had directors, because Sony is trying to make extra money from old movies, so they want to make clean versions of the movies.
Yeah, what the hell?
One of the directors said, and I'm going to paraphrase, and then Chris, if you know the quotes, just tell me and I'll say it. Or you could say it. Do you know the exact quote that the guy said?
I know that a couple of directors commented.
No, but like the vulgarity one?
Yeah. No, yeah. I don't remember that.
Something towards the effects of Sony can suck my whatever.
Oh, yeah.
Like flat out and clean or whatever. And I got to tell you, they got scared.
Yeah. Because
every director will sue the shit out of them. And they don't need more enemies right now. Their company, look, they're in trouble. And they're trying to find a way to make themselves in the story, in the name, in popularity, get the whatever. They're going about it the wrong way.
Yep.
Multiple ways. Okay? They are causing more problems than anything, and they don't even realize they're desperate right now because they're like, and again, it's their fault because they just put out shit for a while. And again, I'm not talking about Ghostbusters. Please don't get confused with what I'm saying because whatever. But they're doing stupid shit, especially with the hacks. Oh, we're going to have Men in Black and 21 Jump Street. Oh, what the hell are you doing?
Come on.
Like the shit that they were gonna have an Aunt May movie. They were so damn desperate.
God, I don't even want to think of that.
So I'm gonna just tell you that Sony right now pictures, and not Sony. Don't get confused with the video game anymore. Sony Pictures are in trouble, and they delayed the Ghostbuster animateds for years. Not happening. Nothing's coming out next year. Maybe nothing in 2019. So their movies ain't doing that great lately. If you're looking at it, the latest movie, they're banking everything on an emoji movie, which is ridiculous.
Oh God, I still think it's the most asininest thing.
So I'm gonna tell you, I don't even know. I wouldn't even know how to handle this, being that Homecoming's coming out.
I gotta tell you, and this is just me. I would love to have been a fly on the wall of Kevin Feige's office when he went. Because I'm telling you, I think as soon as he got back to wherever he was, whether it was a hotel,
he threw shit into the wall.
I think he called an emergency meeting and he blew his top. I'm telling you,
he broke shit. You know what? I wouldn't be surprised if Disney goes to buy Sony Pictures and fire everybody that's connected with that shit, and just scrap all their plans altogether. Like totally.
I don't think they're gonna do another joint interview. I really don't.
I want to see that. I want to see his face. I hope they zoomed in on his face when she.
Dude, they have screenshots of his face at the exact moment. You can tell he wanted to be like, and maybe that's why he didn't say anything, because I think that he wanted to say, "What the fuck are you talking about?"
You stupid.
Dude, I'm telling you, watch the interview after this. I'm telling you, it's hilarious, and at the same time, you're sitting there like, what the fuck is he talking about?
He probably threw something into the wall. I'm sure, like, he just lost it. He lost it. He probably said, this fucking conniving piece of like, she does this shit all the time.
Yeah.
She's trying to get back in the good graces with Sony, you know, and you know what? You know what the sad thing is? If Sony would do the right thing, they would have made an announcement immediately following that. You know, we value our relationship. They
probably were taken off guard as well by it, so they're still trying to.
No, Sony should have been like, we value our relationship with the Marvel Cinematic Universe. We have our utmost, you know, like a business speech. We have the utmost respect. The opinions and thoughts of Amy Pascal does not necessarily or something collide with our train of thinking or whatever. Although we do think she's an amazing this, you know, whatever she said may or may not happen or something, where they don't bash her, but they don't agree with her either.
They have PR people to handle something like this, and I bet you that they're probably working on something right now.
I don't think Sony's doing shit. I don't think Sony's doing shit.
Down before they do, otherwise.
I don't think Sony's going to say shit.
No, I mean Marvel.
Oh, Marvel's
probably.
You know what? Here's the thing. What was the projections? 100 million
for Homecoming?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm not entirely sure. I think something like that.
Is that great?
No.
So
I don't think so.
I mean, not for nothing, and I know, you know, it's whatever, but Wonder Woman was like way higher, right? Like, I don't think it's going to do as well. I think it's going to be the lowest. And again, nothing against Tom Holland. I think it's going to be the lowest generated Spider-Man movie in the history of Spider-Man movies.
Because this was timing on her part. You cannot tell me for 1 minute this was not timing on her part. She knew the movie's coming out in the next number of weeks. So I'm going to throw I'm going to be a little shit disturber here. And I'm going to say this stuff here. They know, and I want to see if they're going to respond on camera or they're going to wait until they reply in a letter of some form.
They made a mistake. Just like they should have coached Andrew Garfield and all the people before they had like that big thing and said, listen, do not talk about whatever your opinions are. We don't want you to say what your opinions are. If it's going to be controversial or reflect. Nobody did. And right before they revealed what Electro looked like, okay, Andrew Garfield said he thinks that Spider-Man should be gay and Mary Jane should be a black dude, played by Michael B. Jordan. And they were like, what the? Like, honestly. And then they showed Electro, and nobody gave a shit what Electro looked about. Right, Chris? You remember? All they were talking about was what Andrew Garfield said.
Yeah, I have a vague memory of that. I remember being like, what the hell are you talking about?
and even at the thing, they basically gave the hint at the Comic-Con that they were pissed at him. So, and then even when he said that, yeah, you know, they changed the way the movie originally was for Amazing Spider-Man 2, and it sucked. It's like, oh shit, you know, you just fired yourself, like, totally. So,
I mean, on that part, he was telling the truth, but
wow, you know, you can't really tell your bosses that they suck. I mean, if you're still going to do another movie,
you can't say it.
You can just not say anything about, you know. Well, what's time limit we have? Because I don't have a thing.
It's got about 3:54.
Okay. Again, Chris, you know, you and I agree that this is bad for Homecoming.
Oh, this is not something you want even after the movie comes out.
Yeah.
Because they just announced the news that they're going to do Homecoming 3.
It's not. Listen,
I'm telling you, I think this is going to be a big issue.
Sony is famous for saying that Amazing Spider-Man was going to be the number one, $1 billion or more, and it didn't come close. Was the second one? They just need to shut up, and Amy Pascal needs to shut up. But this is what if it fails?
Well, I was just about to ask you. I believe I know what your answer is going to be, but I got to tell you, seeing the trailers and stuff, I'm not impressed yet.
With
this movie.
I think the Vulture looks like shit, but I mean, I don't even know what that looks like.
They're doing something more on the lines of the first Green Goblin.
I thought they were supposed to show his face and his mouth, because that was the whole point, that you don't want to have a mask on. I mean, you can't even see what the body language is. It's Iron Man 4.
I think they're trying to ground this in reality, and it's like you can kind of do and see. I have a hard time even saying that, because they have the Falcon suit without a helmet, and it's like, why can't his suit look like something similar? You know.
So they say projected domestically, it's doing $100 million, right?
Well, that's not bad for an opening weekend.
I'm gonna disagree. I'm gonna say that this hurt it. Oh, and yeah. I'm gonna say that it's gonna be in the 70s million, maybe 60-something million, and that the second week, what is it going up against the second week? Do we know? Nobody knows?
Idea, no.
I'm thinking it's gonna drop off, and I don't see it making more than $800 million.
Well, I mean, it would still be okay if it didn't do that. But.
Why? Because the Amazing Spider-Man 2 did 800-something million, and it was like.
But I mean, at this point, I'm pretty sure that they're going to go ahead with this Spider-Man, really, no matter what.
It doesn't matter. It's going to be the well. Let's look it up, because I know we don't got enough time. Let me, Scott, tell me the time.
Time is
about 1:20.
Coming up on 1:18, 1:15 right now.
All right, so Amazing Spider-Man, $757 million with a $230 million budget. Amazing Spider-Man 2 with a not available budget, $708.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it's gonna be. I mean, if it does, it may do $780, but it's never gonna come close to Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man.
No,
I don't think so. But I think that there are factors outside of what happened that are going to keep it from doing that.
Yeah, because didn't Sony not have to pay for it, really? I mean, didn't Marvel mostly pay for it, or?
I think so. But what I meant by that was I think that some people are looking at a third Spider-Man reboot, and they're like, you know what, forget it, I'm out, you know?
Wow. I just, you know what? You know what I say to that? I say get Tobey Maguire back, and the hell with it. And just reboot it. Not soft reboot, just get the new Spider-Man 4. Whatever.
And that's the reason why Spider-Man cannot work. People can't get into it, because every time it drops $1 million or so than the other movies, like a reboot, they don't even try to come back later and repair this stuff. And if they would try to repair it instead of reboot,
Sony screwed up. Sony screwed up. They ruined everything.